Note, this speech is semi-scripted. I am not a professional speaker, nor am I a YouTube celebrity. If you would like to mirror this content, you're more than welcome to. Just please do not take me out of context. Thank you. It is said that you should never assume malicious intent, when the answer could very easily be stupidity. Is this actually true? Well, I imagine in a lot of cases, yes. But I found there are other cases where this might not be quite right. I've also found that the so-called black and white fallacy is a bit flawed, at least in my opinion. You see, it is true that you should never really assume all bad intent or all good intent with something. That is fair. But as much as that being a fallacy is true, I've also found that there is such a thing as a gray fallacy, a fence-sitting, milquetoast, everything is the same, everything should be treated equal type of fallacy. A more socialist type of fallacy, if you will. And that is something I just cannot really accept to this day. Evil takes many forms. A lot of people like to say that evil is in your face, that, oh, someone said the wrong thing, or is actually just wrong just because. But really, I think the greater evil that really needs to be discussed is the evil known as the fake hero. The person who will shroud themselves in light on top of an ivory tower as if they are greater than those they look down upon. The people who bring upon feelings as if they are some sort of noble truth that must be sacred and must be respected under all circumstances. That I find to be an even bigger problem. And why do I feel this way exactly? Well, really it's totalitarian, and I mean that in the definition of the word, as in everything, the totality of everything is political. Even Cards Against Humanity, for example, would be political. That which is fiction, aka not real, something that should have no consequence, is political. If something does not fit in with the ideology, it must be destroyed in the fundamentalist view. And it doesn't matter if you're a Christian or anything like that. Heck, it doesn't even need to be a theistic religion. As long as you are tied into some sort of idea that you are unwilling to ever let go, even if there is some sort of contradiction, even if there is some sort of reason that you might have to think about it or look back. If you're not willing to let go, if you're willing to defend such an ideology at all cost, then that will very much lead you to a totalitarian path, because for that type of person, anything would be better than to admit that they are wrong. And a lot of times, there is some truth to it. But really, when it comes to ideology, does the truth really matter, or is it just the narrative, the story? When a child is in trouble, or when they're being bullied by one of their peers, what do? They turn to the parents, the teachers, any trustworthy adult. But what does the adult do when their peers go out of their way to silence them? Well, I suppose there's God, but then again, what is God? It doesn't matter what religion. Heck, it doesn't even need to be a theistic religion. If adults cannot agree on what their God is, then how can they come to a compromise? And thus, the adults will thrust their God upon others. If you were to believe something that you can acknowledge is true, whether by evidence or even just pure intuition, there are maybe peers who would say that is misinformation. And if they're really ideological, they'll go out of their way to make sure that you cannot speak for yourself. Why again? Because anything would be better than to admit that they're wrong. It doesn't matter how hypocritical it is. It doesn't matter if, say, you have evidence for your claim to prove that it's actually true. If it's not their truth, then it doesn't matter. It's misinformation. So why this simplistic train of thought? Why are people so willing to just ignore basic critical thinking skills if it means to defend their ideas, whether there's actual value to them or not? And really, the answer is simple. Politics, not just their politics, but your politics, milquetoast or not, is awful.